Hi everybody, it's Mark Messier, and you're listening to Blueshirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers!
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
An unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Tuesday. It is November the 29th. My name is Jim, and as always, I am joined on the other side of the window by the one and only Eddie Geik. Eddie, good evening, sir. And let me tell you something before we even get into it. Between you and I doing this show and Blueshirt Banner, we have been in tune. We've had our finger on the anus, as we like to say, of this fan base for the better part of 14 years, Eddie. And I don't know if I've ever seen them more angry than they are tonight. How are you, sir? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. There you go.
Okay, I'm doing well. I'm having fun.
You're having fun?
I'm having fun. I mean, after a certain while, you become immune to the Rangers losing. You don't get as crazy. But you see a lot of crazy, like you mentioned. The fan base very upset, and angry.
Angry.
I commiserate with them, and I feel their pain. But like I said many weeks ago,
you're almost done.
I'm like, I've seen this before. I've seen this whole show before. Not our show, but the whole Ranger thing. And it's not surprising. But we're here to talk about it. We're here to break it down, big boy.
Yeah.
With that being said.
Get your Christmas baubles at Shopify.com.
Yeah. With that being said, big boy, I know you got a lot of, you're going to break it down. I'm going to try to break it down. And,
I'm going to break down. All right. This team's going to give me a breakdown.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people, Joe Garcia, how you doing, brother?
Millions of people in this chat room right now. I spotted Jen outside this chat room selling tickets for $10,000 for people to get in.
Wow.
She's trying to make a buck.
Well,
she's got a side hustle going. She's scalping tickets to the show.
Well, the great Alec, the great Rollo, I will say to you, he made a comment that because we were supposed to be contending this year, which
could have been somebody.
But I don't know if that was the expectations of a lot of people. I think the NHL experts really had the Rangers contending this year. Anyway, we'll get to it all. We'll cover it all. Where would you like to start? How about the endings? I mean, you talk about, blowing leads in multiple games, the Edmonton game, the 2 Islander games. The Devils got out to an early lead. I mean, what is it with the composure of this team or the way it's made up that it can't close out a win?
The Red Wings game also. Another lead blown that turned into a loss.
What is it? Let me just finish my question. What is the difference between last year's team and this year's team with not having leads going into the third period? They very rarely have a lead. Unable to win in overtime. Unable to. I don't know. What is your feeling? This team. I always come up with a 2-word answer. No magic. They have no magic. They used it up all last year, and they've got no magic left. There's no magic. There's no magic from the goaltender anymore. There's no magic on the power play anymore. There's no magic in squeaking out these games. It's all gone.
Look, I think those of us who have watched hockey long enough knew that last year's team, a lot of things went right for them, and they won a lot of games that maybe they shouldn't have on the back of their goaltender. And their goaltender has been very average. He has not been the Igor that we got spoiled watching last year. It's very rare that the Rangers go through a stretch of average goaltending, but right now here we are. Igor is not playing well. He took the blame last night, said the goalie was shit. That was his exact quote. The goalie was shit. I can't say I disagree with him. There's a lot of things going wrong. The magic thing. I think that Gallant last year was the right coach at the right time. They had 3 years of David Quinn, who was very much in your face, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. He's very, very passionate. I still don't think David Quinn was a bad coach. I think he was fine for when they needed him. It was probably time to move on from him. Gallant came in, was like this breath of fresh air. I don't go in the room. I don't push this. I don't do that. I don't bog you down with structure and system and this, that, and the other thing. And it all worked last year. And this year, nothing's working. There's no spark. We finally got a captain. Everybody screamed for 4 years, we need a captain. And everybody's complaining that we got the wrong captain. It is not up to me, and it is not up to any fan. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been watching hockey. I don't care. The best judge for who's the right captain are the guys in the room. If the guys in the room say that Trouba was the guy to be the captain, then I can't argue with that. He doesn't seem overwhelmed by it. He's just not playing well. The whole team isn't playing well. Did you see what happened with Trouba with Leon Draisaitl the other night, smacking his stick out of his hand?
Yes, I saw that.
I mean, I just feel like we have hit a low, a real low. I mean, we're being humiliated in our own building. We've got our captain getting his stick smacked out of his hand. We're hearing our goaltender taunted by the opposing team's fans at Madison Square Garden. We're hearing "Let's go Devils" chants at Madison Square Garden while our fans cheer for an Islander hero. I mean, I just feel like last year, where's last year? It's just, I feel like last year, where did it go? Where did it go? I mean, there's no excitement to this team. There's nothing exciting. They're not fun to watch this year. It's a slog. I feel like last night, the Rangers had to work and work and work and work to get a shot on goal, and then the Devils would just come down the ice and score. There's so much going wrong after, and look, like I said, everything went right last year. They won a lot of games that maybe they didn't deserve to win on the back of their goaltender. Then they lucked out with a slew of backup goaltenders in the playoffs. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it all went south. And now they're not getting the goaltending. Now the power play is not as consistent. The penalty killing is not as consistent. And the coach flat out told the media the other day, "I'm doing my job. This is all the players." He put this on the players. "I'm doing my job," he said.
No, you're not.
You are what your record says you are, Mr. Gallant. And,
there has to be some accountability on everybody's part. And he's just basically, look at them. Those guys, they play the game. I've done everything I'm supposed to do, which is nothing, which he's done we said it last year, most of us here. We don't know what he does. Even when they were winning, we were just glad he was doing it. I mean, there's nothing you could say. What kind of coach is Gerard Gallant? I don't know. Now, and it seems to me this season is whizzing by. I mean, I don't know if it was the short break between the playoffs and us starting the season, but they're like a quarter of the season done already.
23 games in.
And I still have no idea what the personality of this team is. I know that he's going to play. I mean, we certainly knew that there would be with the team that they started the season, and the team with we had in the playoffs is drastically different. I mean, there's a lot of guys who aren't here now. The Rangers don't have much depth, but this was the job. Their duty to us, the fan, Chris Drury, is to put out a contending product out there for us.
Right.
And you're blaming Halak. They all stink right now. Panarin won 13 games without getting to go. Even strength. You're going to blame everything on Halak and his 6 starts? I'll give it a break. Right. I mean, Chesty's been stinking the place up. How come you don't turn against him? What has he got, Henrik amnesty now with you people? You don't watch the games? He's untouchable?
Who are we to criticize while he makes king-size dough?
I mean, he hasn't been clutch. His save percentage isn't that great. His wins were good, but if they continue at this pace, that 13-3 is going to evaporate. It's going to be 13-13. You want to blame Halak? Give it a break.
And the other thing I'm seeing a lot of is fans blaming the Rangers for drafting Lafreniere and Kakko. Like, who scouted these guys? What? How could they have? Who's responsible for getting these guys? These guys were the consensus picks both times. Okay, you had 2 clear consensus picks the year Kakko was drafted: Jack Hughes and Kakko. They got the other one. Alexei Lafreniere was the consensus pick when the Rangers drafted him. So don't be one of those fans that you pretend you know more than the Rangers scouting, that there was some guy later in the first round, we should have drafted him. Regardless of whoever had the first pick in that draft, they were taking Alexei Lafreniere. He was the consensus pick. But now the fans want to blame the they want to give up on Kakko. They want to give up on Lafreniere, and I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to go watch these guys go be fucking 40-goal scorers for the Pittsburgh Penguins like Alexei Kovalev or Tony Granato or Tony Amante or name your Tony. Tony Sirico. I mean, or Tomas Sandstrom. I'm not ready to go see these. I'm not ready to give up on these guys.
The entire NHL was up in arms when the Rangers got that lottery pick at number 1. Detroit deserved it. Why did the Rangers? Lafreniere is a game changer. Everybody consensus, no talk about it. There was nobody else. And Kakko was consensus number 2. Now
they were like 1 and 1A, Kakko and Hughes. There was Mario said it right in the chat. It wasn't even the Devils. There was a lot of talk that the Devils might take Kakko, and then we'd be complaining that Jack Hughes wasn't developing, and then Kakko had 30 goals for the Devils.
I don't even want to hear. I'm sick of him. You know what? I hate these kids. I hate Kakko. I hate Lafreniere. And you know why I hate him? Because of you people.
People? Who are you calling you people?
These people, they want these guys to play top line minutes. Again, these guys haven't done anything in third line minutes. You want to they need minutes to be good. Okay, so we'll take away the 50-goal scorer, in Kreider. We'll take away Zibanejad. All of them. Put the kid line as the first line. Just play them there. Excuses you make for these guys. And they're sitting at like 4 goals apiece. Why can't the Rangers develop youth as far as forwards? Beats me.
Goes to the
Well, go ahead.
To me, that right now it falls to the coach.
Well,
it's up to the coach.
Well, now,
I mean, this is their second year with this clown.
Oh, wait,
I mean, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing?
School? I never went to school, and look how I turned out.
What's he doing? I mean, do you realize they have not he can't put together a second power play unit that could score a goal? So he's got to play the first power play unit for 98% of the power play.
Yeah,
do you realize they have not scored a second? The second power play unit hasn't scored in Gallant's entire era.
Is that a true fact? The second power play unit has never scored?
That's according to, that was either Arthur Staple or Larry Brooks wrote that, and they wrote it in 2 separate articles, that the second power play unit has not scored a goal.
Trouba has to have a power play goal
since David Quinn was the coach.
Well, I'll tell you what. Fucking Festa playing Sammy Blais on the second unit. Why? This guy has no goals.
Clown.
I mean, he doesn't have any goals on the season. So you're going to he deserves that last 20 seconds of power play time.
I mean, they don't even. I mean, sometimes they don't get on the second power play unit doesn't get on the ice until there's 10 seconds left in the power play.
But I agree with you that he's got to do something. Not just say, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't care if it's sending guys down. I mean, how bad, I want to know, is the fear of Krasov getting hurt so bad that he can't come in for Julien Gauthier, if he can't come in for Sammy Blais?
He can't come in for Sammy Blais? He's, you know what? Sean McCaff said this, and Sean McCaff is I try not to reference Sean's blog too much, only because I try not to let him influence my opinions, but because I usually kind of think like he does. But anyway, now I fucking lost my train of thought. He made a good point about that, and now I lost it. After all of that, I lost what I was going to say. But he said that he just thinks, and I think there's some merit to this. Gallant has just had it with Kravtsov. The tooth thing was the last straw, and that's it. He's not going to play him. Not going to play him.
Okay, don't play him.
And maybe that's true, but you know what? Kravtsov goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins and scores 40 goals.
I don't think it. Well, here's the deal.
Send in the clowns.
You got to try something. You've got to try something. I mean, whether it's bringing up, it started to get to that point where, listen, bring Will Cooley up. Bring Brodzinski up. They've got to mix things up because these guys are not cutting the mustard. They are not doing it. There's no passion. There's no even bring up your boy there, the Pinto, the Italian Pinto there.
The Italian Pinto.
Something.
Bobby Trevino. Where is he?
I mean, they're so strapped financially. This is another thing. I mean, I don't know if we talked about the Reeves. What the fuck? Was that all like was that like a Dallas episode where it was all a dream? Where fucking we had Ryan Reeves to bring toughness to fight Tom Wilson in the showdown of the century. We had to get tougher. We were tough. We were the most feared team in the league. And then nobody fought. Nobody did anything. Ryan Reeves was slow. He really didn't hit. I mean, I don't know. That whole message of firing the coach and that whole thing, you're not going to push us around anymore. Did it all end? I mean, was it just the wrong thing to do? I don't know.
Ryan Reeves was just an entire overreaction to Tom Wilson. And again, they spent all this money. They invested all this money in fourth liners, and it's left them strapped. They spent between Ryan Reeves. Ryan Reeves is making what, $2.5 million playing on a fourth line and not playing every night. And I don't believe this. People are saying Troub's stick wouldn't have been knocked down if Reeves was still there. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second.
Just from my witnessing of Ryan Reeves with the Rangers, I don't think any more or any less liberties were taken with Rangers with him in the lineup. Just don't.
There are plenty of guys
would smile at people, for God's sakes.
Right. There are plenty of players on this team that will stand up when it's called for. Ryan Lindgren, Sammy Blais, Chris Kreider.
Goodrow. Even Trocheck, I think, would stand up.
That's Goodrow's another subject.
Well, what's going on with you and Good? I like Goodrow.
Well, I like him too, but the more we get this guy locked up for 7 years.
Well, he's getting paid
7 years.
$8.
It's $3.5 million.
$3.5 million is fucking a pittance. This isn't $4 million Brandon Dubinski territory 10 years ago.
Well, hey, $3.5 million. Again, it's a lot of money tied up on.
Don't even start.
But that's a lot of money tied up in bottom six guys that aren't producing.
He's a good bottom six guy. What can I do? What can I tell you?
But he's playing. He's playing on the second line.
Well, because the clown is fucking. He doesn't have any answers.
He's doing his job.
And I think he recently plays Gauthier and Blazers because they're French Canadian.
Oui.
He'd rather play them over toothache Russian.
You think You think he's got to think about the Euros?
Definitely. He likes the French. He's French Canadian. He likes that. How the hell would Julien Gauthier be hanging around this franchise? Still. I agree with Matt Morello, especially with Mike Rupp. Mike Rupp, he could play too. I bring anybody up. I don't even give a.
Did Mike Rupp score 2 goals in the Winter Classic?
Yes, he did. Rupper. Bring up Gustav Rydal or
bring everybody up.
Bring everybody up.
Tim Gettinger's got 10 points in 16 games. See, it takes time for these guys to develop. Tim Gettinger is 35 years old. He's been in Hartford for 27 years. We've been waiting for Tim Gettinger since Ted Sater was the coach.
And also, these defensemen, I mean, Braden Schneider should have had that. There was a disallowed goal, I think, in the last game before. He should have had 3 goals, but nobody scores on their defense except Fox. Really, they're bereft of scoring from the back line. Keandre Miller has been playing not good. Trouba has been subpar. The second pairing I has been really. And the third pairing is still learning. So I hope that he learns not to play Libor Hayek anymore. Just play Zach Jones and Schneider.
I agree.
Just if you're going to go all in, you're going to go on. You're going to go all in. Cutter is asking some ridiculous question. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know how he's equating this.
Yeah, that the Rangers are being punished because of Gerard Gallant's hit on Borje Salming in 1986.
Yes,
on a skate slash.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. Karma. Yeah, you're right. You're right on. My God, you are a bird brain. From 1986. It's ridiculous. All right, so Jim, you said you had a lot of windows open. You got a lot. Have you hit upon? Well, what do you think about the coach saying, "Hey, I've done everything I've done"? Is that acceptable?
That to me, that sounds desperate to me. Those are desperate words. That sounds like a guy who's just trying to save his own ass. He's trying to cover his own ass. Where's the accountability? He did walk it back a little bit at one point and said, we all need to do better. But he flat out told the media, I try and get the best out of our players, he said, following Sunday's practice. I'm doing my job.
I don't know if they've told Bud here that
I'm sorry
to win.
In recent days, he's pointed blame in the direction of a schedule that featured 5 sets of back-to-back games in the first 7 weeks of the season, and called on his players to bring it up a notch.
Oh.
When asked for a response to his team blowing a 3-goal lead Saturday against the Edmonton Oilers, he deflected to a similar collapse from the Florida Panthers against the St. Louis Blues that night. The same thing happened in Florida. I'm taking care of my team, but it happens to a lot of teams. It's not that Gallant's points are invalid. It's just that they come across as excuses to fans who have no interest in hearing them.
Yeah, he's watching other games and following other teams so he can get excuses.
Now listen to this.
Uh-oh.
Ultimately, though, Gallant will be judged based on whether his team can find its identity and live up to expectations that stem from last season's trip to the Eastern Conference Final. Multiple players have said the frequent lineup changes make it difficult to build momentum, with one player telling LowHud.com, I understand we need to change something, But I think when we start playing like we want, it will be easier for everyone if we can stay with the same lines.
Okay.
And then there was the coaches meeting after the game on Saturday, or the players meeting after the game on Saturday. Coaches meeting with the team. All these meetings. They got more meetings than the Mets. And they still blew a lead last night and still lost. Still got humiliated in their own building. How many times on this show, how many times over the years have we made fun of Devils fans, Islander fans, Flyers fans, Blue Jackets, Colorado Avalanche, the Phoenix Coyotes, Dallas Stars, when Ranger fans have taken over their building? We can hear them singing the goal song and they're in the building. That's embarrassing. Last night, the Devils fans taunting the goaltender in his own building. That's embarrassing. I don't know if you remember an old friend of mine, a friend of my family, Kevin Canessa. He came on our show once and
I remember that guy.
did a Devils preview. He tweeted me last night and said, I have been a Devils fan since 1987, and I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought I would ever hear that at Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Matt Lohud is where Carp used to be, and it's where Vince Mercogliano is now. It used to be the Bergen. I guess it's the Bergen Record. When it was a newspaper, it was the Bergen Record.
Well, it was a perfect storm for those Devil Dog fans because you've got the Devils are they're incredibly hot right now. I mean, they lose, then they win 2 in a row. I mean, they win 13, lose 1, come back, win it. And it was a day game. Was it a day game? No, it wasn't a day game. It was a night game.
Saturdays was a day game.
Saturdays. Okay. Wait, the Devil game was Saturday? No, that was
Devils
yesterday.
game was last night.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm confused. It was a Sunday football game. I told you, get rid of these Sunday games. The crowd is not into it. They don't want to go to the games.
Yeah, but yesterday was Monday.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It was Monday Night Football.
I'm sorry to shoot holes in her.
But my theories are all getting blown out. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so confused. Okay. So there's no excuse why there is so many Devil fans in there. I don't get it. It's not like these tickets are cheap. I guess they were ready to pounce. Oh, yes, Sean, you're right. They were disheartened that the Rangers got out to a 2-0 lead, Sam and Joe, because they wanted to give us the whole Devil spiel, the whole Devil Pravda, why the Devils had changed, and it got spoiled early because the Rangers turned the tables. It was 2-0. And but once the Devils came back, oh, Jack Hughes, he's put on some weight. Apparently, Sam Rosen has been following Jack Hughes so closely that he says he's learned to avoid hits this year. There's no way fucking Sam Rosen knows that. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Checking his weight and his everything.
Yeah, he's not.
Sam Rosen is actually wearing an Apple Watch connected to Jack Hughes' phone.
So then it was the Lindy Ruff. He's what a fine man. He's a great man.
Right.
Oh, John Marino, what an addition, and all this, and look at Vito Vanacek. He's 71-3 with a 1.5. What a pickup! Meanwhile, he was sharing time with Washington. Everything's great, New Jersey. They couldn't wait to get on that, and then.
Diane, but back in the day when they were Sunday traditions, it was like an 8:00 game.
Yeah, it was a later game.
And don't forget, those were a little different times because back then you had a Giants game at 1:00 or a Jets game at 1:00. You had a Giants or Jets game at 4:00, and you didn't have a lot of other football. Now people are watching 10 games at once all day long, and they're playing these games at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It just doesn't make sense.
Yes. Apparently, I was running around yesterday thinking it was Sunday. It was really Monday. But yes, now it used to be a whole Sunday of sports, New York sports, Jets, Giants, Rangers at night, and now it's not good. Playing in the afternoon, whatever. That's just even like. He's blaming it on the schedule? Oh, come on, really? Are we gonna become Islander fans from last year who said, "Oh, the schedule, the COVID"? You going lame excuses for 200, Alex? Sorry, Gallant. Why are they blowing all these leads? Why can't they win in overtime? Well, I don't understand. And then I see like. Last year, they were getting terribly outshot, but they were winning. Now they get a lot of shots on net. I mean, my problem is the only discernible things that I can see is you don't have the development of, and now is it going to come? I don't know. What's going on?
Mario said Eddie was wondering why the church. Why you're in church. Yeah. he's in his Sunday go to meeting clothes.
Yeah.
And there's no service.
I wore my best hat. Ladies wear their hats. No, but it's just like I think the second pairing has not played well this year. The third pairing.
Neither one of them.
Either one of them has not played. Now, is it the captaincy? Has nothing to do with the captaincy.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I have read more than a few times from beat writers that Trouba is not completely healthy, but he feels like he has an obligation as the captain to be out there playing even when he's not 100%. If that's the case, well, maybe somebody over his head needs to make the decision and maybe just sits for 10 days and gets healthy.
I'm up for anything. I'm even up, get this now. If they got to change things up, change the second pairing. Have Trouba play with Schneider or Jones and bump Keandre Miller down to the third pairing. Is it that insane that everybody's guaranteed a position on this team? I mean, they're not playing well. You got to switch things up.
I got a shake up for you. You want to shake things up?
Give me a shake up.
You want to shake things up? Call up Dylan Garand from Hartford and let him start one of the games against Ottawa. Let him start one of the games.
That's a good. Why not?
To me, that makes. I mean, what else are you going to do? All right, you're gonna bench Panarin. You're gonna sit Panarin for a day. Does that really send a message? But you take your goaltender, you play a rookie for a game, tends to keep the players on their toes. Maybe it gets them out there. Maybe it's enough of a shakeup. Oh, if Igor could get sat for a game, is it that crazy? Brendan Hoffman traded I didn't know that. He was traded by his OHL team. I didn't know that until last night.
Flyers have had enough of him. He's like 41 anyway, isn't he? Like, I think it's his last year there. I'm sick.
Traded.
I'm sick of when this guy comes up. I'm sick of that. I'm done with that. Surprise me. I have no hope for any Ranger prospects. That's it. I'm done.
He's only going to play on the fourth line with this coach anyway. Is he going to replace Sammy Blais? He's not going to take Sammy Blais out of the lineup.
How many goals as a Ranger does he have?
What's that?
How many goals as a Ranger does he have?
Sammy Blais? Hang on, let me look. Hang on. I'll get it for you.
0.0.
How many goals does Trouba have?
0.0.
20 games in, the guy doesn't have a goal.
Excuse me. Let me read you something real quick.
Okay.
I went back and did a little digging. And let me just read you this real quick. The Vegas Golden Knights have fired Gerard Gallant and hired former San Jose coach Pete DeBoer, whom the San Jose Sharks fired last month. The Knights also have fired assistant Mike Kelly.
Oh, God.
The move comes with the team in the mix for a playoff spot, but that factor did not prevent a midseason move. The results aren't there for a team whose owner on an annual basis says he expects to win the Stanley Cup. The Knights have been underwhelming in the standings this season with a record of 24-19-6, which is basically 24-25. The returns were diminishing. They were third. The Knights are tied with the Winnipeg Jets for the final wild card spot, but clearly management thinks they should be better, and DeBoer is that coach to get that out of them. Didn't Gallant just win the Jack Adams a couple of years ago? That he did for taking an expansion draft of players, somehow getting to pass the chemistry test and turning them into a regular season juggernaut who went all the way to the Stanley Cup final before losing to the Washington Capitals. Blah, blah, blah. So what was the failing for Gallant, or was it a combination of factors? A combination of factors, some of them out of his hands. Their 5-on-5 play has been underwhelming. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Their puck possession remains solid. They're not taking over games offensively. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Overall, the Knights they have the number 24 shooting percentage at 7.5%. We talked about how low the Rangers shooting percentage was on the last show. Overall, the Knights are 17th in the league in goals scored with a system that's creating chances but without results. Does that sound familiar? They're not getting great goaltending either. Marc-Andre Fleury has been very ordinary. Does that sound familiar? But management also has failed him a bit. Does that sound familiar? Frankly, the Knights just haven't looked like the Knights. They're getting outscored in the first period for the first time under Gallant, a sign of unpreparedness and inconsistency. They're a middling 14-10-3 at home where they used to be unbeatable. Does any of that sound familiar?
It sounds very familiar. And now
hang on. Now, this is from when he got fired infamously by the Florida Panthers and got left at the hotel waiting for a taxi. In 2+ years with the Panthers, Gallant was 96, 64, and 25. Last year's Florida won the Atlantic Division. Gallant finished second in the Jack Adams Award voting, but this season, the team sputtered to an 11-10-1 start. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
It was reported that Panthers management and Gallant didn't see eye to eye. Now, I have no way of knowing if that's true, but it just seems like this guy wears out.
1 year?
Wears out after a year or two. Maybe it's just happening faster now. Maybe he's older, he has less, I don't know. But this is what's happened everywhere he's gone, and this was my concern coming in, was that this is a guy that's been fired twice on teams that were doing not great, but okay. It wasn't like he was head coach of a if the Panthers or the Knights were 15-40 when he lost his job, you understand. Okay, he was doing a bad job, he got fired. But his teams were just underperforming. They weren't, there's a pattern here, and now we're seeing it again with the Rangers.
Oh, interesting.
And, I've seen a lot of fans whose opinions I trust, and I know just aren't reactionary. Because when a couple of people say it, you just say, "Oh, they're overreacting." When a big group says it, well, maybe it's just the way it is. Maybe it's not overreacting. Maybe it's just the way it is. I've seen an awful lot of people saying, like I said, whose opinions I value, say they want this coach replaced. And that's really saying something coming off a 52-win season with a run to the Eastern Conference Finals.
He's a clown. Be a clown.
Send in the clowns. Isn't it rich? I'm going to write a Ricky Diffendale song.
Oh, God, please.
Aren't we a pair?
I don't know.
Panarin can't score and Mika has all that hair. Send in the clowns.
I don't know.
Everybody's yelling for Barry Trotz. I don't see how Barry Trotz fits this roster.
Well, he'll change that around.
And the Islanders, but I didn't know what Sean McCaff just said. Is he still under contract with the Islanders? I didn't know that.
I'm not sure about that. I guess he is still under contract.
Sean McCaff reporting that the Islanders would have to okay it. Thank you, Rollo.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's valid criticism. So the Rangers, I feel like the Rangers don't have the players to really compete. I mean, they got it. Jimmy VC, God bless his little heart, on a tryout because they can't afford anybody else. You got the kids just not doing it. Just not doing it. Lafreniere looks like he's regressing. He's taking stupid-ass penalties now. You got Kako. Yeah, he's got a lot of scoring opportunities, but, just not even that many. Filipino looks better, but he's been in the league 6 years. So, I mean, you could tell me all this stuff. They're just not getting any scoring from any places that are unusual. And Panarin isn't scoring. If he isn't getting goals, they tell me he's shooting more. I don't know if he is. He doesn't score. Zibanejad, I think's played well. Kreider's been played well. But
okay, let me ask you a question. Zibanejad scored the other night. It was his second 5-on-5 goal of the season. Is that, do you still think he's playing well? If he's not scoring 5-on-5, would you stand by that he's playing well?
I think he plays an overall game that, would I say he's playing well? I mean, he'd be playing well if there were other people that could pick up, the slack even strength, but they don't have anybody. Would I be saying that? Probably not. I mean, they've got to be better at even strength. When you're not good at even strength, it just points to a lot of things. It points that you don't want the puck bad enough. They don't have a line that wants that puck. They just got to have it. And, they give up a lot. I mean, that last Devil game, they give a lot of odd man rushes. I don't know what's going on. I just know that the coach has got to do. There's a limited amount that the coach can do, but he's got to do something. If he's got to send a message, like you said, you know what? Dylan Garand is going to come up. If that gives Shesterkin a kick in the ass, if it gives the defense a kick in the ass, it gives the whole team a kick in the ass, then do it.
What's the worst that can happen? They lose? They've been doing that.
but they've been, they're losing the fan base because of the way they're losing. They have leads, they blow them. They've lost against every divisional rival. They've lost twice to the Islanders. They've lost to the Devils. The Devils are successful. The Islanders, they're doing okay. They ain't great, but I don't know. The Rangers' defense has not been good. Now, and I agree with a lot of the points you made, Neg Type. Let's see. You can't.
I think everybody's making great points.
He says Panarin is no longer interested. Don't know about that. Zib can't score 5-on-5. You're correct. Fox can't figure out if he's a D-man or a forward. I think he's a D-man. I think he knows what he plays. D-man, forward pass, overshooting, always thinking pass. That's been a Ranger problem since 1975.
Right.
Power play too predictable, of course. It's one-time city. But for most of the season until recently, the last, 5-6 games, it's absolutely been terrible. Keandre Miller is invisible. I wish he was invisible. I wouldn't notice him making all the mistakes he's making. He's giving away the puck like it's a freaking, he's just handing it to him. Halak can't win to me, and Trouba is playing like shit. I agree with most of that. So what do you do? What do you guys do as a coach? What do you do as a general manager? I just don't think they have the horses. When you got tryout guys and Julian Gauthier, they're thin. They're so hampered by the cap. I don't know.
Well, here's a question for you. The director of player development is Jed Ortmeyer. The assistant director of player development is Tanner Glass. And the player development assistant is Matt Hunwick. What do any of the three of them know about player development for elite forwards?
They all play with Chris Drury.
They all played with Chris Drury.
I think that's the common denominator. I'm not sure.
Did you know that Ryan Chloe has a job with this team?
No, get out of here, that guy.
He's the hockey operations advisor.
Ryan, he's terrible. He got a concussion like a week after we got him.
Steve Eminger is a scout with this organization. Do we just hire like every fourth line and seventh defenseman that comes down the pike? Ryan Reeves is going to have a lifetime job with this team when he retires.
Oh, yeah. Nepotism City. This is how it's been run since, say, they got here. Since Ron Lowe became his first coach. Boy. It's rough. It's rough right now. They lost a lot of tough games. They lost
Senior advisor to the owner and alternate governor, Glenn Sather. I mean, this was really, come on. Come on. Tanner, Jed Ortmeyer, Tanner Glass, and Matt Hunwick, that's the triumvirate that does player development for this team? I mean, come on. Come on. Are you
It's turning out there's more than one clown.
I mean,
but let's go back to it.
This is like Ottawa Senators type stuff. They're the New York Rangers.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe they're not. Maybe they're not.
What prestige do the New York Rangers have?
I don't know, but you think they should have prestige, right?
I mean, they haven't won anything. They don't recognize their past. And they don't recognize. They're just worried about, Joe.
Right.
Libor Hayek and the Garden of Dreams night is being auctioned off. No, he's being auctioned off. Libor Hayek will be auctioned off at the next Garden of Dreams. What happened, Jim? Let's go.
Ryan, Chloe.
Jim, let's go back to the first.
I'm baffled.
I know you're baffled, but listen. Let's go back to the first 2 games of this season. Rangers, Tampa.
Oh, Joe.
Oh,
Joe. Those were the days.
Though, I mean, this was like Rangers.
If only we knew those were the good old days.
Rangers came out hitting, and this and that. Then they played the Wild. They thrashed the Wild in game 2. Just went up there and freaking run roughshod. Now, look at it. We want to fire the coach. We hate the GM. Panarin's checked out. Miller sucks. Trouba's shit.
Now, in the words of Ralph Cifaretto, look at you. Now look at you. We thought after that Tampa Bay game, the Rangers, we really thought they have arrived. They are ready to they are sending a message. We are a force to be reckoned with. And then they lost to the Winnipeg Jets. 4-1. And that was it.
That was it.
And then the bad losses started coming. Then the Sharks, then the Coats, then the Avalanche, then the Islanders. Oy.
Oh, it's I'm doing my job. That's all he's got for us. He's got to come up with something better. There's people, or Drury's got to make a trade.
Underneath the link, he doesn't believe what I'm telling him. He needs to see it on the website.
What?
There it is. That Tanner Glass, Steve Eminger, Jed Ortmeyer, and Matt Hunwick all have jobs with this organization.
How could you not?
High-ranking jobs, important jobs. They're not just ambassadors like Hank, where they show up and wave to the crowd, and the crowd chants his name, and then he sits down. These are important jobs.
It's a shit show, Howie.
I mean, these are like this is the Rangers cabinet. If the Rangers are a White House, this is their cabinet. These are their cabinet members. This is their labor secretary. This is their secretary of defense, the secretary of state. These are important jobs.
I find it hard to believe that this is a team last year who came back against the Penguins, won all those games, won a game 7, won, a couple game 7s, if I recall. And they, all of a sudden, they're just shit now. They've got no focus, no desire to win. Or is it just, it was kind of an aberration? Is that the word you're looking for? I'm looking for, that they were so good last year.
They were good last year, and they had a lot of luck. And as Bill Chadwick said, you have to be lucky. In order to be good, you have to be lucky. At that time, the Rangers were lucky. Chip.
But listen, last year's diagnosis for the winning was Rangers get horribly outshot. Shesterkin bails them out.
Right.
This year, I don't see that. I don't see them getting barraged. What I see is a lot more pucks go in.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's the biggest difference.
The save percentage is down.
I mean, I feel like they do give the puck up. Uh-oh. Sean McCavin's going to find a reason to blame this on Hank now.
Well, Jen said Hank shows up and Shesterkin loses his stick, which was true the other night. And Sean said Hank shows up and Igor blows leads.
Come on, guys. You're talking Henrik Lundqvist, although he stood maybe 4 seasons too long. He's the best you're probably ever going to get. Ever.
He makes us yell and hoot in between bottling shoots.
But we don't know. again, I also go with the fact that it's only the Rangers have a chance to turn this around, but fucking do something. You're the goddamn coach. Oh God. So I don't know, Jim. I don't have the answers. What? So you're throwing the blame.
Here's another interesting little nugget for you.
Wonderful.
The Rangers have not had 3 games. This is according to Arthur Staple. The Rangers have not had 3 games in a season, or had not had 3 games in a season where they blew 2 goals in a game. They had not done that 3 times in a season in over 10 years, and they've done it 3 times already this year, and we're only in game 24.
Yes.
Nobody's shitting on Lundqvist. We're just having a little fun. We're trying to
listen. I don't.
It's a little therapy.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but
it's off the reservation.
Yes, I don't know.
By the way, this is just a complete side note, because I know a lot of our audience and you are Sopranos fans. If you're not watching Tulsa King, find it and watch it.
Oh, that's right on after Yellowstone.
Excellent show.
Oh.
Done by a couple of the creators of The Sopranos.
I'm gonna have to watch it then.
Lots of familiar faces.
By the way, Mark Stoll is still playing. The Ranger fans wanted him gone 10 years ago. Still managing to get a paycheck.
Detroit's playing pretty well. Is he still with Detroit? Or is it, no, he's not with Detroit anymore, is he?
With who is he with? He was with Detroit last year.
He's with Florida now.
The Panthers.
Florida. He's helping them blow 3 goal leads. he's a -8.
Oh,
by the way.
Yeah, this could be this last year.
Mario speculating that maybe the team's out of shape.
Could be. I just don't think I don't think they're working as hard as, I don't know. It seems to be a mental thing. They're not locked in yet. They should be locked away for some of their play, but they're not locked in. And this is New York, man. People have been fired for less. I know. And this coach, he better start saying, coming up, he better not be watching other teams around the league and saying, oh, well, they're doing this to St. Louis too. And, they have an excuse, and excuses are not going to cut it. I mean, you better look like that Giant coach looked like last week, flipping out at the end of the game, man. Throwing that headset down. He looked like he was going to kill somebody. And I don't know. I don't have any answers right now. All I have is questions and bad feelings towards the Rangers right now. But I'm happy. I'm still happy, though. What have you seen out there that from the angry Ranger fan that you say this is just ridiculousness? Like, you will not give any credibility.
Well, one of the things that I mentioned a few minutes ago was about how how somehow the Rangers brain trust blew it by drafting Lafreniere and Kakko, which is just ridiculous. They were consensus picks. So it's either a matter of they haven't panned out yet, or they just weren't who everybody thought they were, or,
will you say maybe it's something organizationally the Rangers do not do to get the most out of their prospects? A lot of people
Maybe.
are of the mind that if they were on shit teams, they get all the ice time they could get, and they would be much better off for it.
Perhaps. But you know what? Right now, they're on a shit team. Again, comes back to the coach. Sorry, but it does. Comes back to the coach. These are, I mean, if you want to include Hedel, this rebuild, these are prime assets. Okay? Hedel, Kako, Lafreniere, Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, Braden Schneider. These are all prime assets. These are high draft picks. And how many of them have not taken any steps forward under this coach? I mean, we thought we saw some stuff out of Keandre Miller the second half of last season and in the playoffs, but we have not seen that this year. Same thing with Lafreniere. Same thing with Kako. But I think Kako's overall game has been terrific. The puck's just not going in. He's playing too well for it not to just start happening at some point. I really think he is playing well. I think at times when he was playing with Kreider and Zibanejad, I think he was at times the best forward on that line. But again, these guys have not made the leap under this coach. And how long are you going to let these guys, for lack of a better term, fester?
Yeah.
And not progress.
Marinate with a bad coach or a coach that just is not. But it seems like he's very hands off. It's not like he's expecting them to play, flawless defense. I mean, he doesn't seem to bench anybody no matter how bad they play unless they're Ryan Reeves. I mean, or Kravtsov.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have any answers, folks. I got a lot of questions. As I always say on this show, I really... That's true. Got kind of an acne problem going on. He's a fair-skinned Finn, Sam.
Right.
Oh, Joe, look at that complexion.
Oh, he's got to oxecute him, Sam.
Oxecute. Look at Jack Hughes. He doesn't take the hits anymore like he used to. Yeah, right, Sam.
How about when they compared him to Gretzky last night?
Oh, God.
Kids in the league 2.5 years were comparing him to Gretzky.
Killer Instinct, definitely. I just, right now, I'm just saying no magic.
Well, maybe didn't they have like last year going into the third period just a killer record when they had the lead? I mean, it was like ridiculously something like 35-1 or something like that. Am I misremembering that?
I think you're right. For most of even the AV years, it was pretty good. This whole losing in the third period shit. And blowing 2-goal leads 3 times already. I mean, yes. They are severe cringe, those 2 idiots. So, okay. That's
let me so I'll pose this question to you, and I will pose it to the chat room. Is it time to make a change behind the bench? No wrong answer. I just want to know what everybody's thinking. There's no wrong answer. We now have over 14 million people in this chat room.
This is
Peter Fox.
14 million and one.
14 million and one.
Let's see. Who are we going to replace him with?
That's not my question.
Okay.
And I have an answer to that. I'll give you an answer to that question, but I just want to hear your.
Why not?
Andre says, fire GG. Diane X says, yes. Dr. B, yes. John Riggs, yes. Matt Morello, yes. Cutter says no. Tony Stanziano says, I want Peter Laviolette.
I got to tell you.
VW Eurotrash says no. Sean McCaff says no. Jen says, a week ago I would have said no, but after last night, yes, something is very wrong and they're spiraling. Matt Zenobia says not yet. Chef Ra says, oh no, I'm sorry, that's not Chef. Hold on, I'm trying to read comments as they scroll by here. Chris the Meat says yes. Nick says yes, but no to Barry Trotz. Todd McConnell says change the coach. Kim says no. Awfully says no. Gunhead says give him another 10 games. Mario says no. Marty Can says no. Larry Fishgold says GG is another Michelle Bergeron.
Fire his ass.
Fire his ass. Pete Fox says Keenan. He's over there coaching the I-Ties.
Oh, he's in the Italian league?
He's coaching the Italian national team.
Not yet. People say sit in the car. Well,
how do we, Sean McCaff, how do we vote the poll? There's an oldie but a goodie. How do we vote?
Yes. All right. Here is a.
By the way, if we redid the bracket of misery right now, there's 5 games from this season that would go right into the Final Four.
Well, I want to call out to one of the people that responded in that little mini roll call of opinions there. Tony Stanziano. I want everybody to collectively give this man a round of applause after I tell you what he did, even before. Me and Tony, we both like that wrestling. That AEW wrestling, and they recently had a pay-per-view at the Pebble at Newark, and they're at the Rock. And Tony is he's very into the wrestling, and he brought a couple signs with him, which weren't wrestling, even had to do with wrestling. There were shots at the Devils.
Oh, really?
So during the wrestling matches on this pay-per-view, he told me he was going to bring it. I was looking out for him. He had good seats. At one point, he held up a sign that said, I paid Dale Puritan's bail, which automatically gave him legendary status to me. Then he had a sign,
you're talking.
Brodeur eats his corn the long way. So he, not just in a wrestling mode, but in a hockey mode, shooting barbs at Devil fans. And, yep, he was there. And I got to see it on the pay-per-view. Brodeur eats corn the long ways. WWE is a different kind of wrestling. That's entertainment. I'm not a sports entertainer fan. But anyway,
although you do play one on YouTube.
I do. So, well, I don't know. That's right. Anybody who has Dale Puritan's sign and the fact that knows that he was arrested. Costas, it's mama mid, as MJF would say. Anyway,
speaking of Tony Stanziano, his bandmate Brent Siegel. It's his birthday today, so
happy birthday, Brent.
Yes, happy birthday, Brent. If you're out there, you're listening. He's a regular at our viewing parties.
Yes. Look at Dr. Darwin Bushman. Brodeur puts the corn in no lube.
Ouch.
Wow. I'm not a big Chris Jericho fan, but that we'll save that for the wrestling podcast. So I don't have, but I would say yes, fire this coach. Why not? They've fired people for less. They fired the guys in a rebuild who put out a letter. It said,
Right.
listen, we're rebuilding.
And then they accelerated that rebuild, raised expectations, and now here we are.
Right.
Here we are. A rudderless ship.
Yes. I just feel like what I felt like last year, and it's not like I've changed my mind on how I feel about the coach or me or Jim or really any. I never knew what he does. I still don't know what he does. And when they're losing, you got some splaining to do.
Right.
And he doesn't like to be criticized or implied that he did something wrong. He doesn't have a tough skin, which you got to have in this. You can't be barking at every press person when they talk about, touchy subjects. And I think you're going to see more of that. And Jim, who did his research, read us the articles from the last 2 teams he's been employed by. And it reads just like this story. So why not cut bait with the guy and get Barry Trotz in here, Joe Quenville, maybe if he's uncanceled, or something. But don't give me Chuck Knobloch or whatever the minor league coach is. I don't want any of that. I want somebody who knows what they're doing in here.
Well, he knows what he's doing. He's coached at the NHL level.
Who?
Everybody wanted him to replace Quinn when he filled in when Quinn got the COVIDs and they won 9-1. They went like 4-0 with him.
Dolan's gonna get a name. You think Dolan? How long do you think Dolan's gonna put up with this?
Not long.
Not long.
Not long. Yeah.
Especially want a name in here.
And his name was in the papers today in an unflattering way. So
yeah.
Well, he's the chairman and CEO of the AMC network, and they're in big trouble. So the CEO was let go. They just laid off like 2,100 people or something like that, and he put out a statement, wishing you well in your future endeavors and all that bullshit. So. Once he gets done looking at Breaking Bad and their other shows, then turns around, looks at his hockey team. He ain't gonna like what he sees. He's gonna see that playoff revenue. No cha-ching in the playoffs. Can't have a dark garden come April 15th, and there's nothing but crickets.
Well,
no Nickies in the playoffs, no Rangers in the playoffs.
Well, Jim, I have faith in this organization because the backbone is really made of some Ranger greats: Steve Eminger, Jed Ortmeyer.
Yes,
it's
a real brain trust.
And Christian Thomas.
Christian
they have
Thomas.
Ethan Werrick is now the president of Madison Square Garden.
I wonder how Ethan Werrick is doing. He was such a nice kid.
He is. I think
I always felt bad that
somewhere.
it just didn't work out for him. He was such a fun guest.
He was. Too bad he didn't pan out as a Ranger.
Currently playing with H.C. Kunlun, Red Star in the KHL, and represented China at the 2022 Olympics. Canadian-born Chinese I didn't know he was Chinese.
How is he Chinese? He's a Jew.
Apparently... He's a Canadian-born Chinese professional ice hockey forward. Represented China in the 2022 Winter Olympics. Who knew?
He's a communist.
He's still playing. That was another good interview because we circumvented the Rangers. That was a fun one. We had to go through the Kingston Frontenacs.
Yes.
To get him on the phone.
I don't know.
It was a good interview though. He was funny.
Good.
He was a funny kid.
Maybe they'll hire him because
yeah, I'm sure there's a job for him.
I don't know. Well, Jim, I hate to cut this short, but I really have nothing else to say.
You want to talk to Costa? He's been waiting very patiently.
Why? I thought he gave up on the Rangers.
Since 7:05, he's been waiting.
He said he gave up. He's not watching any more games.
I know. He's listening on the radio.
Trouba stinks. Go ahead. Bring him on. I feel energized now that he's coming. You were done.
There's being done and there's being done.
Oh,
I'm not. Why? Wait. Do I have to watch and suffer like the rest of you for 3 hours?
what?
Yes, we're all in this together. Yes, yes.
Wow.
Look, you want to be a part of this show. You want to be a part of the lexicon here. You want to be in. You want to be one of the. You don't want to be. You got to suffer with all of us.
He's not.
Nobody's walking out on this old-fashioned hockey team. We're all in this together.
Yeesh. Calm
He's
down,
dying.
big fella.
He's dying. Somebody get the man a lozenge.
So, all right.
Oh,
so
God. Oh my God. Oh, shit.
why don't you watch like the Rangers in 60 or whatever then?
Or on YouTube.
Or YouTube, watch the highlights. You'll be done in like 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Watch the Rangers score early and watch them blow it.
Yeah, and still break something.
Not breaking things.
Oh,
How about you watch
man.
in the room where you can't break something?
What?
Just put him in a bubble.
Bubble boy.
That would be great to watch Costa watching the game in a bubble where he can't break anything.
Oh man, like I said before, part of the problem is the kids all have to play second fiddle to a bunch of fucking fat cats.
Well, they're making money and they produce goals. One of the fat cats got 50 goals plus. The other guy was around 40. Panarin had 96 points. Oh yeah, let's throw Kako in there with his 4 goals. It really makes sense.
Then why draft these kids? Go
Because
back to what
you
it was.
do it the Pavel Buchnevich way.
Go back to what it was, a bunch of fucking mercenaries.
No, you do it the Pavel Buchnevich way. You start on the third line, you get up to 20 goals, then you say, hey, maybe on the second line. Then you get up to like 25, 27. Then you say, okay, now you go up to the first line. You think when the Rangers traded when they traded Brassard to get Zibanejad, he wound up on the first line right away? No, he earned his bones. He developed. These
Who was on the first line when they traded him?
What?
Who was on the first line when they traded for him?
He was not on the first
No,
line.
who was on the first line when they traded for him at the time?
It was Eric Christensen or some dope. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Whoever
Ethan
played with Rick Nash.
Ethan Werrick.
Whoever played with Rick Nash. I don't remember that far back. Hell, yesterday I walked around thinking it was Sunday all day.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a loss for words. Like I said.
What do you got in that bin?
Like I said in the chat, who's gonna respect Jacob Trouba now? Who's honestly gonna respect him?
I am.
Okay. Right.
I don't give a the 20-game evals are in now. You hate the guy?
Derek Stepan was probably the first line center his first year.
Probably.
All right.
All right. So what do you got? What do you got in those bins? People want to know.
Okay, now we're gonna do that. Now is that the new bit?
Apparently, 3 people asked for it.
This is what the people came to see. Apparently, that's all they're talking about in the chat room.
Well, let me ask you the most important question of the minute.
What's in the bins? All we want to know is what's in the bin.
Next show.
All right, I'll come.
Next show, I got next up. I'll set it all up.
All right, I'll come up with I'll put the dust and the wind together. And
that was a lesser known Kansas song. What's in the bin?
What's in the bin? All we want to know. All right.
I've been there, Matt, many times to Big Lots. Shut your mouth.
That is one of his big places, Big Lots. I call that place Garbage Lots. There's nothing in there I would buy. All right. Anyway.
For the The wheel of blame, we couldn't get that together tonight.
When they get it together, I promise you next week. I promise.
It was a technical issue with the wheel.
It was a technical issue. We couldn't get it, because with Gerard Gallant.
It's on loan to one of the other 800 podcasts.
Yes. We couldn't get it done because luck wasn't on my side because Gallant tripped up Bjorsaming in 1986. The Saming thing really hurt me. All right. So what was I going to say? So you want this coach fired or what?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer. I say not yet. I say wait till maybe. Again, the question is: are we still gonna try to make a run for the playoffs, or I mean, if we cut bait with this guy, then the season's over, for all intents and purposes. Correct?
I disagree. Nope, I disagree.
Really?
Why is the season over?
It doesn't mean you're giving up. You're saying
Plenty of teams have changed coaches in mid-season and then went on and had a very successful season. The Devils did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
The Devils did it. The Penguins did it. Birds do it. Bees do it. Educated fleas do it.
Let me ask you this: if he goes, who gets the whistle?
Well, this is just me talking. I would go against my esteemed co-host, and I would bring up Knobloch from Hartford. And I would let him coach the rest of the season.
Wow.
And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, then you can make a run at Trots. Then you can make the run at Trots, and you don't have to worry about asking the Islanders permission.
Successfully,
they
failed. They never failed. Hartford stinks every year.
They didn't stink last year.
They didn't make the playoffs.
And this is also a guy that is familiar with working with young players.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If the knob comes in and they're a playoff team, then what do you do?
You get a guy. You got to get Trotz.
You get a guy. You
got to get Barry Trotz in here. I don't care how you win. The clock is ticking. I got about 3 more years left of this team, and then I'm going bye-bye. I am not.
You're not going anywhere.
Once I hit 60, it's over. I'm not.
You'll be right here with me doing. You'll be right here with me doing the show.
Jim.
You'll be right here with me doing the show.
I'm telling you. I've alerted the higher up.
He's down to his final nerve, man.
I'm telling you. What are they giving us? Nothing. I've heard this man right here, Bin Boy, has said how many times?
Bin Boy.
How many times? They steal your money. They take your money. They don't care about the fans. They overprice. They gouge. They kill. They're out. And what have they given us? Nothing.
What are you going to do? You're going to stop watching hockey? You love hockey. You love the game.
I'm just telling you.
You'll be sitting there. This will last 3 games. In the 4th game of the season, you'll be sitting watching TV, and you'll see a little scroll on the bottom of that News 12 on Long Island or whatever it is. Tonight, Rangers at MSG against the Flyers, and you'll just be sitting there with the remote in your hand, and all of a sudden your hand will start shaking, and you'll flip it on, and there'll be 107-year-old Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti. Good evening and welcome to the New York Rangers hockey. And then he'll be back, and then he'll be on the phone with me. Jim, what do you think about resurrecting the show? And then I'll have to fire Cutsy as my co-host. Or I'll have to, hello, Joe Fortunato. Yeah, it's Jim. Yeah, you're out again. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, Jim. I'm
sorry.
I've had
Eddie, when it comes to hockey, Eddie has no living will. Do not resuscitate.
I got a DNR when it comes
I
to
don't think Eddie's gonna quit cold turkey. I doubt that.
I'm not. I told you, I got 3 years.
He'll
turn it around. Turn it around. Give me something. Give us something. Us fans out here. We're spending hours and hours and hours thinking about this stupid ass team, and we get nothing. We get oppressed by the man.
He's right about that.
Who are you, Malcolm? What are you, the Malcolm X of hockey fans? All of a sudden,
I'm on board with Bin Boy. He's
not going anywhere either.
They want to give you those retro jerseys that the Rangers never fucking win in. They want to charge you $150, $200.
Like the famous bit, don't spend your money. That's simple. Don't give them your money. Fuck them.
I don't like the fact that they
let other people
gouge
spend their money, and you know what? Let the chips fall where they may. That's it.
Unless I get free tickets to the fucking luxury suite, that's the only way I'm ever going to a game.
That's it. Now he's sat in first class. There's no going back to coach. There's no going back to Spirit Airlines for Eddie.
Yep. He doesn't want to be with us peons anymore.
Jim, start looking in 3 years. Start some kind of contest. You can co-host the show.
Win Eddie's job.
He's gonna be like Mike and the Mad Dog. Mad Dog retired.
They better win a cup in the next 3 years, or it's over.
You know what?
That's it.
You know what?
I'm giving enough. I think 3 years is enough to get us a cup. Any franchise should. Come on.
You know what I think Eddie's going to do? He's going to go to Mad Dog Radio.
No, let's stop with that.
Mad Dog Radio.
Hey, speaking of stupid radio shows, you see what those instigators are doing? Jim sent me a picture. Matt Morello, you'll get a kick out of this.
Hold on, I got to pull it up.
These people, you talk about. No, I love everybody here, but come on, guys. This team has got it. This team has got to win a Stanley Cup. I am not going to Mad Dog Radio.
So what's your verdict on Mr. Fudd over here?
Fire him. I don't know what he does.
Okay.
And I don't care who they bring in. I'm not hot on getting the AHL guy. Look at this. What you can get from the instigators, the fumigators.
Oh God! Who's gonna buy that? Who in their right mind would buy that? Who?
I bought you one.
You get one for Christmas
to put in the bin.
Come on, folks.
Would you like to see the catalog?
Yeah, let's see the cow. What can I get? The fumigators.
The photo art poster paper. Look at this.
Are you fucking serious? Oh my God.
Wait, the best part is you can buy this stuff and pay it in 4 interest-free installments. There you pay.
Oh God.
Poker cards.
Oh,
Joe.
Look at the merch.
Oh God, poker cards. Ugh.
The unisex classic long sleeve T-shirt. There it is.
Oh jeez, that's fucking sad, man. and how many people watch this show?
3.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Costa's making me laugh.
Friggin', I guarantee you, if you guys had merch, they'd be flying off the shelves, guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
But see,
you're not that type of show.
Yeah.
It's not that we're not that type of show. We're not that type of. We're not those type of guys. We're not out to milk you guys for as much money as possible.
Right.
I would much rather see one of you win a shirt, or I give you a shirt, or I give you a glass or a mug or a pen or whatever. I'm not going to, I don't know.
I want to know, will I be eligible to win some of these prizes once I leave? Like after my 60th birthday?
The first viewing party of the 2025-26 season will also be Eddie's retirement party.
win a cup,
and then Eddie, and it'd be like, you know,
and then that's when they
like
introduce the new host.
Jockman, you know, on the ice.
And the next thing you know, he reaches for the megaphone and
All right, folks, I'm not going anywhere.
Come on,
he
you gotta
signs
do
on
this
for
here.
5 more years.
Well,
I mean.
By the way, we are selling Blue Shirt Underground show nipple clamps and cock rings.
nice.
And
Let me ask you a question. Seriously,
me?
I'm asking everyone, including you, most importantly you.
All right.
Will the Rangers win the Stanley Cup in the next 3 years?
Maybe.
I don't see it happening. I don't
Maybe.
see it happening. 10 years? Maybe.
Maybe.
How could I root for a team that I could say maybe? Or I don't think. Probably not, right, Todd? I mean, let's, yes?
I think
But see, now in your case,
Yes.
in your case,
Mm-hmm.
like the Rangers are the only one of your teams that has given you a championship in the last 30 years.
And that's why I don't root for them anymore.
The Jets are going on 55 years of futility. The Mets are going on 40 years of futility.
When was
At
the last
least
time
you
I was
could-
at a Jet game?
Well, I don't know, but you still watch them. You still follow them. I'm
Kind
sure you
of.
got a Mike White jersey already in the closet, ready to go
Mike
for Sunday.
effing White to you, by the
Mike
way.
effing White.
No, I don't watch many Jet games. I've been watching a little more. I watched the second half. I'm not really into it. I'm not into the Mets.
I'm sure Eddie's gonna keep following the team. I mean, he's not gonna put
Yeah, I follow from afar, but
exactly that.
am I going to look at the drafts and see who they draft? What does it matter? What does it matter? I could care less if we have a draft analyst on ever again. All their draft picks stink.
No, they don't stink because they don't know. The team doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean,
Speaking of former Rangers and where they're playing these days, guess who's now playing for the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, which is the Flyers AHL affiliate here in Allentown.
Avery.
Nope.
I'm going to go with.
I just told you.
Who? Sean Avery?
No.
Oh, really? Artem
Anisimov. Yep.
Artie.
Yep.
Wow. That's
Bring him
cool.
back.
Yeah, bring him back. I saw his first game. It was a playoff game, I think. I think he's won a line with Jed Ortmeyer, speaking of which. Yeah, I cannot, with Steve Eminger and Jed Ortmeyer, you got to get some real people in here. Come on. How about this? I'll make a caveat. If Sather dies.
Oh, forget it. All right. And that's it. And that'll never happen.
He's got to die sometime, Jim.
Hey, for the right price, I'll whack him.
I wouldn't bet on it.
To keep me around, whack him. Because then I'll root for the Rangers. Because
that's when I'll go to the Garden just to be a fucking troll. When they do the whole the moment of silence, I'll be like, boo,
I would love to see the security camera footage on that one.
And then I'll be like, Attica.
I don't know.
Artem Anisimov, after a year in the KHL, is now at the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and he has 2 goals and 1 assist in 4 games. 34.
What?
Not that old. 34.
Not that old.
44, 34.
34.
Oh, he's
a youngin.
Ansimov.
Hey man, I'll take him over Ryan Carpenter at this point. Can't do any worse at this point.
Karen Carpenter,
Yeah,
the guy they had to go and get and lock him up for 2 years. Because Jed
2
Eltmeyer
years.
is friends with him.
2 years. I thought it was 1.
I thought it was 2.
No,
Yeah,
that
no,
was
no,
that's
close.
Brodzinski.
no, that was the glorified hype man. For
Brodzinski.
2 years.
Brodzinski, I'm thinking of. Another interchangeable idiot. All right. I've had enough of you.
All right. Anything else, Costa?
Take care,
All
my
right.
friend. You made me laugh.
You're welcome. Until next
Good
time.
night, sir.
All right.
All right.
Like a bastard.
Did you have a nice Thanksgiving, by the way? I didn't ask that at the time.
Ah, don't even get me started.
Oh, really? No. What was wrong on Thanksgiving? By the way, you're wearing the shirt you're wearing in the drawing behind me there. That's your Godzilla shirt.
Yeah. I wore that today. The Thanksgiving is just ridiculous.
It was no good?
Can I talk about it on the next show?
Sure.
Because it just...
It's fine. It's obviously a source of great pain for you.
Well, because it's not... It's just... It wasn't good.
Okay.
Because there's certain things that got to be done and they weren't done. And also, my family's a bunch of nuts. No, there wasn't drama. It just... This is craziness. Like, just craziness. Like, weird topics of discussion, that you don't have at Thanksgiving. And I'll get into it. And the whole turkey thing, all right, I'm going to get into it. Okay, when you have Thanksgiving, right?
Oh, okay. I was just about to say, I can't wait for the next show to hear this. But all right.
I'll give you a tease. When you have a Thanksgiving, right? How do you do Thanksgiving? You're half Italian, right?
No.
And no, you're half Cuban. What are you? Half?
Jen is half Italian. Half Cuban?
No. I saw Mario in that.
Oh.
So.
German and Irish.
Okay, you're German and Irish. Jen's mother showed up bombed.
That's apparently. I didn't notice. But I don't know the signs.
Future mother-in-law is bombed.
I guess. First of all, because I was busy with our other guests, but she showed the signs. Apparently, there's a few tells.
Well, and
Jen picked up on them.
How did Jen take that her mother was bombed? Did she embrace it or
thrilled.
was not happy?
She wasn't thrilled.
All right. Okay. Well.
At one point, Jen's over by the stove. I think she was cutting something up or something. She goes, "My mother's fucking bombed," and the knife's going clunk, 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 clunk.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's something women do that men don't do. Like they'll be doing an activity, and when they're mad or they're pissed off, it becomes like 5,000 decibels, whatever they're doing.
Right.
All right. So. We'll stop there, but let me just...
Oh, we're going to stop there. Okay.
We're going to stop there. All
right.
We'll both exchange stories next week.
All right.
My band member says, Ed, the guitar system, he goes, you kind of mailed it in last week on the show. To me. I go,
on this show?
Yeah. I go, what did you expect? Shooting fireworks and sparklers coming out of my ass? I mean, I don't understand.
What are you supposed to get up into a TikTok dance?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I'd rather have been at a Thanksgiving with, future drunk mother-in-law than what I was. It was
all right. Well, if we do Thanksgiving at home next year, you and Chris are invited.
I would actually go. I got to go to Pennsylvania anyway.
That's true. You were in the neck of the woods, right? You weren't too far.
Yeah. All right.
Ed's Thanksgiving Tales next week on the show.
Yeah, you should have like a turkey or like the U-Log going on another screen. All right, I'll get to work on that What's in the Bin song.
What's in the bin? Mm-hmm. All right, quick look at the schedule. Rangers have Ottawa twice. A home and home against Ottawa, and then Chicago on Saturday, St. Louis on Monday. So Eddie, we can either come back Sunday night or Tuesday. Tuesday. All right. So we'll be back 1 week from tonight. And Eddie will tell his Thanksgiving tales.
And hopefully the Rangers would have won 3 out of 4 games.
1 out of 4?
Hopefully. If they get swept by Ottawa, then you're going to really see the pitchforks.
If they get swept by Ottawa, we might have a new coach the next time we're all together.
Yes, we're going to have the Wheel of Blame and the Holiday Tales of Woe coming up.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We love you guys. Don't forget to click the bell, subscribe to the show, do all that stuff, good stuff there. And catch us on Facebook, Twitter, the whole bit. Eddie, always a pleasure.
I had a lot of fun. And let's go Rangers. Let's turn this thing around.
All right, let's get it going. Take care. Have a good week. Good night, everybody.